Hi, welcome to a new video. Spoilers ahead, and sorry but I forgot to record part of the lineup process. So, I know this video is a bit late, but it took some time to make, and well, basically, I saw recently the new Avatar movie more times than I would like to admit actually. I know the opinions on the franchise are split with people hating or loving it. I'm in the latter category. I was in the first for basically all my life. But a few days ago, when some friends wanted to see the movie, so I watched the first two movies, so I know the action and the characters a bit. And well, I was so wrong for having skipped this series for basically all my life. And since then, I went to see the movie a few times more. Just to be sure that the first time I liked it wasn't just a fluke, Like, why not? Anyhow, let's dive right in. Story is amazing, but it does have some plot holes which might motivate some people to hate it, but at the end of the day, that's not a main reason to love Pandora and its characters. The idea is to escape reality and run off through the stars to an idealistic version of humanity that didn't destroy itself but lives in harmony with nature. Until greed comes into view and it all goes downhill from that. I now understand how and why some people got really depressed after watching the movies, myself included. Honestly, I would rank the movies as the following order. 3 on the first place, it has the best characters. 1 on the second place, it's the introduction into Pandora. And 2 as the last one, and my choice may seem strange as people apparently didn't like the new movie as much as the second one, but hopefully at the end of the video you will understand my point. And I'll start with the second movie. Usually sequels aren't as good as the originals, but that's usually just nostalgia playing tricks. I don't think it's the case here, for the main plot has a few holes in it, mainly the resources. I get they found some new really expensive stuff, the whale juice, and the idea is to now colonize the planet instead of just mining its resources. And I get that's a parallel to our whales and the oil they have that almost made whales go extinct, but at the same time they just ditched the whole unobtainium resource thingy. Like, why does humanity only extract one thing at a time, while there are basically a million other things to destroy and profit from on that whole planet? Now for the characters, they are good, but there's in my opinion not enough time to get attached to Neteyam, so when he dies, it's a bit underwhelming, although it does start Neytiri's revenge arc, which is cruel, amazing, and a really interesting idea to portray in a Western movie. It shows how an endearing creature, a mother, becomes a savage beast in such a hostile environment, especially when her children are in danger. She even abandons her home and her forest. The introduction of Quaritch as a Navi, it seems like a logical thing to do to start his redemption arc and to bring him back from the dead, but at the same time it opens a big plot hole for the whole franchise. Like, if his mind was uploaded on a stick and downloaded into his avatar, why didn't Jake's brother have the same treatment? And yeah, you can argue they didn't know he would die, but at the same time, why isn't uploading your mind into a stick drive more common, like an obligatory thing to do for people of his status? Quaritch and his team were so important, but at the end of the day they were just thugs. Why didn't the genius with a PhD at 22 receive the same treatment? But more on that later. the new tribe, the Metcaina, are beautifully designed, and I love how they basically adapted to the sea and have bigger hands and fish style tails. Wait, that's not full, try saying that 5 times. Anyway, solid movie with 3 hours of pure bliss. Also, I need to know how Ninat sings if Natiri has such a wonderful voice. Now, the first movie, it was the introduction into Pandora. It made me cry when I first saw it. It's so beautifully designed, almost real. I do wonder from where James Cameron got his ideas. It did age a bit comparing the VFX with the new ones, but in all of it, I think the biggest problem and the main reason people hate the series is because it has the same name with The Last Airbender, and well, I mean, could we stop hating? Both franchises are amazing and beautiful with some great stories and characters, and both franchises have amazing fandoms with a lot of merch, designs, ideas, toys to partake in. So come on, just stop hating on what other people like. But I need to say, the first movie has the biggest plot hole of the 3 movies. Like I said, Jake has a twin brother. Okay, both are 22. How did Jake get his muscle atrophy in such a bad state when he was in the military? And how did his brother get a PhD at 22? Like, what? Did he finish high school at like 12? Also, what ruse did Jake use to manage to become one of the Navi so quickly? Like, he did in 3 months what no one else could, even Grace, which spent years working on that school. And the Avatar program has been happening for some time until we meet Jake, so that's a bit of a weird thing. But if you think about it, him being 22 and Heytiri is canonically 18 would make sense. Keep in mind that they became married after like 3 months of knowing each other. It's something an 18 and a 22-year-old would do, so yeah. Also making sense the amount of trauma Heytiri receives, basically seeing her family killed, the whole political structure of her clan destroyed, and her home burned down, beside losing her sister, which by the way we don't ever hear from her again. That part of the story is basically forgotten, like not even mentioning her, or not even, we don't even see her in the Ewa connecting montage. Like, wouldn't she show her kids to her dead sister even if it's virtual? Now for the new movie, the best one in my opinion, and not just because Varang, I mean, she's a thirst trap, but we will come to that later. Avatar: The Fire Nation. It's basically the continuation of the second one, both movies being basically one longer, and it seems a bit repetitive, and I understand some people may dislike that, but as I said, hating on this just becomes old. It seems a bit repetitive, but that's the point. The war, the conflict, it increases in scale. Also, James Cameron developed new tech and went to the Mariana Trench to learn how to film underwater. Of course, he would use that in this movie also. Like, if you only think about that, you would expect this movie to have lots of water in it. You basically don't just revolutionize filming and invent new stuff and then use it only for one movie and that's it. It's logically you would reuse the tech. Anyway, I absolutely loved every single minute of it. It is 3 hours and there should have been a bathroom break in the middle of the movie. Also, Varang was mostly for show, I dare to say. She's only as a thirst trap introduced, and her being with Quaritch is just basically a mirror of Jake and Heytiri. She didn't really do much other than being on the cover art and being the +1 for Quaritch, although she kind of starts his redemption arc. Though it's a bit cliche that you basically know from the start that if he dies, he won't really die. Like, I think the weakest part of these movies is that they are made so that any of them could be the last one. So every one of them kind of ends with a cliffhanger. So the story could continue or it could stop. I don't know. It's a bit strange, and I'm not really a big fan of this idea. Quaritch's character weakens a bit in this movie. His reasons change and his character grows just a little bit, but at the same time it's a bit, I don't know, let's just say uneven. His whole thing with Spider kind of doesn't really make sense anymore. And honestly, at the end of the movie, his whole point of capturing the treasonous Jake isn't really an order anymore, and more of his personal obsession with Jake's family, and I guess he wants revenge from Heytiri for killing him. Also, the whole thing with Spider, the second movie he tells him he's not his father, and in the third he's like he wants to be his father. Like, my man, make up your mind. Also, let's acknowledge the redemption arc of Heytiri. Her whole character is just wow. She went from a semi-outcast for loving a human to complete hate and racism for trying to understand and adopt Spider. I mean, adopting the alien child that technically is the reason her own child died. So the story of losing a child to adopting another, interesting and really hard to watch. Also, is it just me, or did Jake and Heytiri not kiss in the last two movies? And for a culture that prides itself with connection, even with each other and the planet, not having even one kiss seems a bit weird. And also, I'm gonna ignore the whole Spider, Navi, Jesus, Kiri collab. Those two had more affection than Jake and Heytiri in the last two movies. I do hope we will see more of them in the future. The next movies are planned for 2029 and 2031, and there will be a 6-year gap in the storyline. So I wonder what Verang and Quaritch will have done for 6 years. Also, please someone do a series or write a book about my boy Norm. Jake may be the rebel leader, but this nerd, apparently he also has a Navi wife and kids, but still has his human body, which apparently his wife isn't so happy about that. And yeah, fair enough. So please someone explore this storyline. It seems so fun and has so much potential. By the way, people seem to not have liked the new movie as much as the others. It's still short of the $2 billion mark, because apparently you need to make $2 billion to have a successful movie. What world do we live in? I mean, why can't we just burn money and do stuff for the beauty of it? Anyhow, this is my little drawing of Jake and Heytiri. They are from the first movie, but it still took some time to make, so I hope you liked it. And if you got any tips, tricks, and please write them in the comments. And please go see the movies, and well, see ya next time. Bye!